before we get the power, we have to learn the poker. In this video, you'll learn that poker isn't just a card game. It's a game about strong decision-making. In the previous lesson, we covered the basics of the game. In this lesson, we'll focus on betting. Betting is an opportunity to make a decision. If you're the first player to act, you can bet any amount or pass the action to the next player. If someone else bets, you can match the bet and call, or raise the bet and the stakes. Otherwise, you can fold and save your chips for the next hand. Let's practice. Gameplay begins in a clockwise direction, starting to the left of the player who has the dealer button. Directly to the left of the button are two forced bets known as the small blind and the big blind. The big blind is usually double the amount of the small blind. Once the blinds are posted, the players are dealt 2 cards each. These are your hole cards. Remember, no one else can see these. Once the hole cards are dealt, the first betting round called Preflop begins. The action begins with the first player to the left of the big blind. Now is a chance to decide if it's worth it to continue in the hand. If a player decides not to play, they simply fold their hand without having to sacrifice any chips. If a player chooses to play their hand, they can call and match the bet, or raise the bet. The remaining players must then respond to this player's action with the same options. Before the flop, the blinds act last. After the flop, the player with the button acts last. If you have the button, you have an advantage since you get to see what your opponents do first. Once the pre-flop betting round is complete, 3 cards are dealt face up at the center of the table. This is called the flop. These are 3 community cards that all players can use in combination with their hole cards. After the flop is dealt, the next round of betting begins. This round begins with the first remaining player to the left of the dealer button. The player now has 2 options. Option 1 is to bet any amount. Option 2 is to check and pass the action to the next player in turn, who then has the same options. If a player bets on their turn, the next player to act can fold their hand, raise the bet, or call the bet to stay in the hand. Once the betting is complete, we see the turn, which changes the possibilities for the best hand, and players are given a chance to make new decisions. Next, we see the river, the last card to influence the outcome of the hand. A final betting round begins. Anyone who is still in after this round of betting must show their cards. This is called the Showdown, and the best 5-card hand wins. Remember, you can make the best hand using any combination of your 2 hole cards and the 5 community cards. However, if a player bets and their opponents choose to fold, then they win the pot and don't have to show their cards. We then go on to the next hand, starting over with the same game flow. The dealer button moves clockwise, and so do the blinds. Everyone now has a new position at the table, a new hand, and a new opportunity for decision-making.